in tunnels, with Hamas withholding food from the hostages. Shoham also went on to say that Hamas was stealing aid. This comes as Palestinian terror groups Hamas and the Islamic Jihad released videos of two hostages being held in poor conditions. Now let's listen into what Tal Shoham, the former Israeli hostage, had to say.
My name is Tal Shoham. I was held captive by Hamas terror organization for 505 days. I was released in February this year. Today Hamas released a video of Eviatar David, which was with me in the tunnels for 481 days. The video shows Eviatar in a really deep and extreme starvation as a propaganda of Hamas. I want to be really clear about it. It's the same tunnel I was held in with a guy, Gilboa Dalal and Eviatar David. Just few meters away, there is an iron door. Behind that door, sitting Hamas terrorists, a group of them, eating plenty of food,
Now we are joined by Mark Sutherland. He's a geopolitical commentator, joins us live from London. Thank you, Mark, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, how do you think this public plea could influence international diplomatic efforts for hostage release? Also, can we trust this video that's been showed to us?
I think you need to also look at previous hostages that have been released, particularly Eli Sharabi, who spoke at the UN in March this year after his release in February. If you then look at the photographs of these poor people that have been taken as hostages and then have been taken into Gaza before that, and then look at their pictures now looking extremely gaunt. If you then go back to the hostage release and see how gaunt they are, they look as though they've just come out of a concentration camp at Belsen or out of it. If you look at that, I think that is the evidence that is actually in front of your eyes, and they have suffered appalling atrocities against them. So when you ask a question, can we trust them? I would say to you that we have to look at before pictures, before videos, say with their families, to now, Asuma.
Yes, Mark, thank you. And now looking at this news, what role should international organizations play in securing the welfare of these hostages and ensuring that they are treated according to international law?
I think, as has been constantly said by other people greater than me, said that no army in history is also doing whatever it can to actually feed people that that they are then having to then engage, and Hamas hides behind the civilian population of Gaza. They have built a tunnel system of many miles. That's the equivalent of the London Underground, etc. It's extremely difficult urban warfare. The last thing that anyone wants to see on both sides is any tragedy of death. But this is down to Hamas using the civilians as human shields. Now, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund was set up to then directly get food in as best as they can. If the UN would actually work with them and other NGOs to actually work with them to get it in, to take the food distribution out of Hamas' hands, because Hamas then makes money from it. As much as this may be extremely uncomfortable for various people to actually listen to and understand, this is the actual situation. And then we have propaganda manipulation of photographs, like we've just seen in the New York Times, who then finally apologized in a roundabout way for that. Yes, this is a profoundly difficult situation, and people wouldn't sit here and say that people aren't suffering. But there needs to be an understanding that the aid, the food, is being used as a political weapon, and that one thing that Hamas would like is for the Gaza Humanitarian Fund not to be running any food distribution in Gaza whatsoever. that is one of the things that was on the table in regard to the negotiations that have just broken down the Summa.
Thank you, Mark Sutherland, for sharing that insight. Please stay with